We'd like to take a moment to talk about some very sad news. We are beyond devastated by Ryan Chisholm's recent passing. A friend of the show, regular collaborator, and horror fan, we loved having him as a guest on the podcast, and his adoration of the genre was a joy to behold. He impacted so many people in an unbelievable amount of ways, and that is clear from the outpouring of love for him in the last couple of days. His passion was electric, his support and positivity beyond compare. Rest easy, Ryan. You are and always will be a right horror dude. We raise a glass in your honor. You will always be in our hearts. Considering this loss, we'd like to reiterate our love and support to anybody who is struggling. It's Mental Health Awareness Week, and we know that the horror community takes mental health very seriously. It's an accepting, understanding, and safe place that we are proud to be a part of. If you need to talk, need words of encouragement, or just to know you're not alone, we're always here to chat. I think I speak for us all when I say our DMs are open at all times.
Welcome to the Horror Hangout podcast, the podcast where free-bearded film fans watch the best and worst horror movies of all time and have giant arguments about serial mascots.
What? You said podcast twice in the opening line. Threw everyone off.
Yeah. Did I? What did I say?
A podcast.
It's one of them podcasts. It's too late now.
It's been a long day.
And I think people have got the idea, if anything.
Yeah. If this is your first episode, you're welcome / we're sorry in equal measures.
Yeah.
But welcome.
Well, when you mentioned arguments, just before we hit record, we were talking about which serial mascot would win in a battle royale scenario. Who do we put in the mix? Tony the Tiger?
Tony the Tiger. We should do our names actually. So my name is Andy Conjurate Turner, and I'm putting forward Tony the Tiger as the greatest, most powerful serial mascot. And I'm here with my regular co-host,
Ben Errington, and in my corner, or I'm in the corner of Honey Monster, the big, unpredictable, terrifying, probably a bit flammable.
What is he
beast.
Exactly?
He's no one really knows. I don't think he does. He's the last of his kind, a little bit like Superman.
Yeah,
the Highlander.
He's also asexual. He lays eggs. He's breeding as we speak.
Life.
They're not sugar pups you're eating.
Life finds a way. They're not sugar pups you're eating a Tony eggs. Luke? Did you introduce?
We're both joined by.
No, I don't even know if I introduced the show. So.
Who even knows? Luke
Condor with a K, and I guess you've left me with Slim Pickens here, the Rice Krispie Boys.
never. Who's Slim Pickens? Never heard of him. Made him up. The Rice Krispie Boys. The Rice Krispie lads. The big 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I think the change. Crew. They really do get a greater chance if you take them as some kind of pixieman and they have some type of magic.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do.
But what is their magic?
They can puff rice from the inside out. So I imagine some kind of microwave powers.
They could, yeah, that's what it is. They could puff anything from the inside out. Watch out.
In that case, they absolutely win. But only if you can make them stand still for long enough.
Yeah, they're like scanners.
They got the numbers game. I think you'd think it was Honey Monster, but no.
Snap, crackle, pop, bitch.
Too slow.
See, I put it to you, Ben, that in the 70s, 80s, the Honey Monster almost certainly appeared on an advert with Jimmy Savile, so he's been cancelled.
Did he?
Yes, almost definitely.
Oh. Well,
yeah, but was it like a documentary sort of thing, like a Louis Theroux investigation?
if he had his arm around him saying, "I think this guy's all right."
This guy's great. I can vouch for him. No matter what happens, no matter what comes out about him in the future, I am vouching for him now.
Me, the Honey Monster. Whereas Tony the Tiger, he's got he's got a powerful voice. So I think you could convince other people to join us, like in the pre-battle bit where he just gets on the mic at the end. Good orator. He could really get the crowd on side. He's like the people's champ.
Yeah.
Second point, neckerchief. It's dynamic. And third, he's a massive tiger that can walk on two legs, and he can open doors like a velociraptor. I don't think the other two could escape from him anywhere.
I don't think. I think if a tiger was running at me, I'd be more scared if it was running on all fours than like clumsily plodding along on its back feet in its arms.
He does extreme sports and everything though, so he's quite agile.
That's true.
He could come and you'd be like, "Oh, quick! I'll get." Yeah, you could be like, "Oh, surfing. I'll outrun this tiger on my kite surf," and then you look behind you. He's coming.
If you're listening and you agree with one of us, or you've got your own suggestion, let us know, because I'd definitely be interested to know.
I know American serials are more horror relevant because they have a whole range of horror adjacent like things. There's Count Chocula, and there's definitely a Frankenstein, and I guess that toucan that does Fruit Loops could be the Thing. Who knows?
Yeah,
could easily be the Thing.
They've got a little leprechaun guy, haven't they? Have we got him now? I think he came over to England at some point as well, franchised.
Yeah, it happens, doesn't it?
You can only buy him in like massively expensive import shops though at the moment, can't you?
Yeah. Next up, Pringle guy versus the Dorito triangle thing with arms and eyes.
That kind of 1950s
Can't wait.
like jazz man that did Quavers adverts for a while, like a dog in like a zoot suit, like The Mask.
Yeah.
Jesus. Oh yeah. Oh my God, that's unlocked a memory I didn't know I had. A long dormant. Wow, that's strange.
The zoot suit dog versus Pringles man.
Yeah.
Anyway, sometimes we talk about horror things.
Yeah, let's talk about horror things. Starting with some horror news for this week. Seeing as Sam Raimi is the name on the tip of everybody's tongue this week, and we will be discussing why. A piece of news about Sam Raimi is that he says Universal is looking to bring Darkman back to life. 32 years since the release of Sam Raimi's superhero Universal Monsters hybrid Darkman (Darkman), and many have been wondering if Universal had any plans to bring it back. I mean, I've been wondering. It's definitely crossed my mind at least once a day. But yeah, this could possibly happen. Apparently,
I've never seen the first one.
No. I've seen Darkman 3, Die Darkman Die, with Man from the Mummy. I've not seen Original Recipe Darkman.
You've not seen Original Recipe Darkman? Well, apparently, Josh Rubin has been lobbying to direct a new Darkman reboot for a while. So this could be interesting.
You said Darkman reboot 2 times then. Just trying to pull you off on
that. Why would you do that? I would never do this. I would never do that to you, ever. So this could be interesting. Wonder if Liam Neeson could return. Why not? You know,
I think he might have said, "Yeah, why not?" Check clears.
As soon as the second the check clears, they go, "Oh, I've got terrible heartburn. I can't do it. Get someone else." Who could play? I suppose it's difficult to say, seeing you haven't seen the original Darkman. But I was going to say, who could be a new Darkman?
It's just some random guy in bandages, isn't it? I don't actually know what Darkman is. I'll be honest.
Doesn't he have
is his face melt? He like
his skin's all melted, and he's got a serum that can make his skin feel better, but it only lasts for a bit of time, right?
Only lasts for a bit of time, and then he screams and goes, "Fire, me face, bloody burning!" It's like a revenge. It's like a revenge story.
Makes him dead hard, doesn't it? Like when he's had the serum.
Absolute nails.
Absolute hard bastard.
Mackenzie Crook.
Hardest.
Ricky Gervais.
Mackenzie Crook. What?
Fielding.
Martin Freeman. What? Just office people. Oh, actually, except Noel Fielding.
Take Noel Fielding as Darkman.
How about Richard Ayoade?
Yeah.
I'm the Darkman.
That's good. Yeah, I'll do that. Take that.
It's pretty shit, to be fair.
Richard Ayoade's Darkman. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. So there's that. And also, apparently, The Guest 2 could be in the pipeline. Adam Wingard says he keeps the hope alive for a sequel. And that doesn't really mean that a sequel is going to happen if you're keeping the hope alive for something. I'm keeping the hope alive for a lot of things that will probably never come to pass. The return of Tazos, you know?
Yeah.
I want Tazos back in crisps. I want little gifts back in crisps and cereal. We don't mention cereal again.
I just want them in everything. In my sandwiches.
Not even crisps. Everything should come with Tazos.
I'll eat it.
Yeah. Tazos are like if NFTs went absolute bullshit. Just,
analog NFTs.
Yeah.
Did Tazos exist in the US as well? Or were they just a UK thing?
I'm sure some version of Tazos probably existed. We have Pogs first and then Tazos.
Yeah.
And you keep them in a little clear plastic binder to just thumb through.
If you're an odd kid, certainly like I was, and you get things like that and think, should I play with these toys or should I obsessively keep them in a perfect set? And
I can even play with them. What do you even do with Tazos? What's the aim of the game?
Frisbees.
Some kind of illusion that you could build something with them because of their slots, but
you could.
They clip together, don't they?
Make complex molecular structures. Eventually, build like a starship that will take humanity to their new life in the stars.
But then that's it. That's all.
Even looking at a picture of Tazos makes my brain kind of fold in on itself. It just feels odd.
I noticed that. Sorry,
it's collapsing into the multiverse of madness.
It's just mad. It's just what? That's crazy. I wonder where they all are. Landfill. Everyone's Tazos.
Everyone's got them in their attics or in their beds.
They're just sold. I had a full set of original recipe, the round the world ones. There was the Monster Munch ones.
Oh my god!
I had them in a little folder, and then when I cleared out my parents' house, I chucked them on eBay. Someone paid for an entire set of Tazos. Obviously, didn't want the fun of eating all those crisps. The Star Wars one, the little book.
Oh yeah. See, I look at them now and I just think, what a load of tat. But back in the day, I was all over it. Hell yeah! Oh, the Star Wars ones. I can't even look at that. That is
came in a little book and it had the little folder that was kind of Filofax sized, and it would hold itself closed. It had a little Velcro patch on the thing to keep it closed.
Amazing. So
just collecting shit when you're a kid. Great.
Collecting shit. So the guest too apparently wants it to happen. With Dan Stevens as David returning, Micah Monroe he wants Micah Monroe back as well. I think there's there's an image here of the Guest 2 soundtrack. So I don't know whether they took some of the unused songs from the first film and put it into a Guest 2 soundtrack. That could be interesting. I quite like that film.
I really like The Guest. The only thing that troubles me about it is that you sort of you just kind of want to watch it and think, why don't you just be a goodie? You could do all the cool things that you do when you help in the family, and they go, I'm not actually mad. See you then.
Just be a goodie.
If you were just the littlest hobo instead, he just helped and said, oh yeah, I didn't really know your brother in the war. I'm just going around.
Hobo.
I'm just going on doing those things. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long. Just turn around, I'm gone again, and off he goes. The Guest.
There he goes. The Guest. The end. Yeah, he does. That could be fun though. And another piece of news, the final bit of news I've got here is that the Netflix live-action Resident Evil teaser trailer will arrive tomorrow, aka if you're listening to this on day of release today, it may even be out right now. I saw a really random clip of what's his name, the guy playing Wesker. Oh my god, I forgot. The guy, he was in.
Now this is the. Yes, I know who you mean, but I do not know that because now I'm tripping up on the one from Umbrella Academy, who's not this Wesker. That's the other one.
He is also in Horizon Zero
Wesker,
Dawn.
right?
Yeah, it's Lance Reddick.
Oh, I could have told you that. Lance Reddick.
So there was a random clip of him on a talk show saying some really suspicious stuff about Albert Wesker that made me kind of think, oh no. He said something like, oh.
He's just Tiger's the best cereal.
He just said Albert Wesker's a really committed dad and family man, and I was like, right, but he's also involved in this global corporation making something evil, but maybe he doesn't know it's evil. And I was like, okay, I don't know. It kind of just did. It feels a bit rough. It feels a bit like here's an origin of a villain starting off as a good person, which is always a bit weird in popular culture. Isn't
It's
it?
like Maleficent all over again.
Bloody Maleficent, yeah. What did you think about? Remember Hannibal Lecter? Yeah. Oh, you should have seen some of the stuff he'd done when he was younger. He was raising money for charity.
Collected Tazos.
Collected Tazos and gave them to kids.
Gave them to kids.
Oh yeah.
The first people he killed were Nazis. Are you saying that not killing Nazis is what you prefer to do?
Hannibal Rising, yeah. He killed Nazis first, did he? And he ate them. Good. Yeah.
Then he killed that excuses it all, I guess.
Yeah. It reminds me, I've been watching the Netflix show. I'm not moving on to what we've been watching already, but maybe I am. About John Wayne Gacy. And they found like 30 plus bodies in and around his house. But on the tapes where they recorded him, he's like, oh, I've done a lot of stuff around the community. I've done a lot of stuff around the community. I don't know why people are mad at me. I've done a raking of the leaves on the gardens. Oh yeah.
So Kat was watching that when I was kind of passing, like nearly asleep at night.
Passing wind
at night is my favorite hobby. And I heard the bit where a guy, he'd invited this guy into his house and then he put handcuffs on him and he started to wrestle or something. Yeah. And as he left him, he managed to get out the handcuffs and put them on John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah.
And then as he left, John Wayne said something like,
no one's ever done that to me before.
Yeah. So like if he didn't get out, if he didn't kind of realize he was in trouble, like he could have been done.
Very strange. The weird thing about the John Wayne Gacy stuff is that you obviously remember him for dressing like a clown, but it's not really a
small part. Yeah,
it's such a small part. He kind of just used to do it occasionally. It was not linked to his committing of crimes in any way. He didn't like dress up as a clown and go out killing people. He just dressed up as a clown occasionally.
That's even creepier in a way. What, just randomly? Yeah, on a Sunday afternoon, he might.
It was like that, yeah. That's the thing. He said he was doing lots of things in the community. He used to like, I'm an entertainer. Shut up.
I just had to quickly look up who it was. It isn't John Wayne Gacy, but it's another American serial killer. Which there isn't a Netflix documentary already. There'll be one in the pipeline. Ed Kempner. He's another terrible American serial killer. Bad man, did loads of things, but one of the things they did with him, apparently, he had like quite a distinctive speaking voice. He was, he was the John Crinan of his time for speaking voices, not for murders. He's much better. That's where the similarities end.
He made like loads of audio books, didn't he?
Yeah, he recorded the Star Wars audio books as like a little throwaway thing, and then obviously Star Wars became very popular. So there are thousands, if not millions, of people who've listened to like the novelizations of Star Wars and gone, "Oh, lovely voice to read me this adventure story." Yeah,
it's weird. Couldn't he get
famous murderer?
Anyone else?
Like, you haven't got to pay him. So it's like free money.
Free money. Hell yeah.
Classic George Lucas. Hiring criminals.
Classic George. So that was pretty much for horror news, and also a tiny bit of what I've been watching. I guess we're all going to talk about a very similar thing. The same
Shall we
thing.
do that one first all together?
So we'll say it at the same time.
3, 2, 1. Spider-Man
3. I knew you guys weren't going to play ball, so I stayed silent for not to humiliate myself.
We've all really watched Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
In the Multiverse of Madness.
So it's not Andy's in it.
No, he's in it.
It's not Andy. He's in it, yeah. We're not going to spoil it, so don't worry about that. No major spoilers in terms of cameos or anything like that. Although I would say the main big bad, I don't think it was obvious to what degree the big bad was going to be from the trailers, which I kind of liked. I like we didn't see absolutely everything. We saw some stuff, obviously, but we were kind of made to believe. But yeah, this is obviously directed by Sam Raimi. First MCU film, but I guess after Spider-Man No Way Home, Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 also count to a degree. All count. But this time he's just allowed his style and his obviously horror movie style to leak into this the superhero film. A lot of people are saying it pushes the boundaries of PG-13. I mean, I think we've probably seen it as bad as this in a PG-13, possibly.
Yeah,
there's a couple of bits. There was a couple of bits I was surprised by how gruesome they were, but I don't know PG-13. I mean, what other films?
I think people have said that there's stuff in some Pirates of the Caribbean movies and even like some James Bond films to a degree, I think, where they're like, that is a lot.
I think this is worse. From what I can remember, I might be misremembering or forgetting some
it's
bits.
hard for us to give the examples without the spoilers, right?
Is it not listed as mild peril, though? Didn't they do that when?
Mild peril? There's some like straight up murdering.
Yeah.
But
there's some murders. I understand what people are saying, but then again, when I think of films that are 12A, 15 basic, like the 15 rating in this country doesn't really exist anymore. I feel like nowadays it's 12A to and then just like things that are adults only, you're taking that out of the hands. And the reality is that it puts more responsibility on the parents for the range of things that could be within a 12A. Obviously a bit of violence. Like when you think about this, in terms of scares and things that are designed to be scary and reach into the horror realm, so traditional scary stuff and violence, maybe more than your average Marvel movie. In reality, there's probably still less of a body count than the average Captain America movie, where like it's like spy action and people being shot or just punched across rooms, though.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be an 18 because no one pops out and goes, get some fucking heroin in you, and they go, oh yes please, my favorite.
Yes please, and drops a F-bomb followed by a C-bomb followed by a penis.
Yeah,
none of that.
Trouser. Yeah.
I mean, so overall, how do you guys, were you happy with it?
I
liked it.
I was satisfied. However, maybe part of me expected more. Like just from the title, Multiverse of Madness, I wanted to see some mad shit. But then again, I really liked the Sam Raimi flavor throughout. That was present, and there were some really cool moments that I'm like, that may be some of my favorite MCU. It's definitely some of my favorite Doctor Strange MCU stuff that I've seen.
I think that the multiverse stuff has possibly been done in a more expansive way by things like Spider-Verse and The Last Spider-Man, No Way Home already. So I think it lost that impact. It had been the first one they did multiversal stuff, we would have got maybe a little bit more impact out of it. But there was a lot of really good stuff in it, and I was excited by it. It was certainly the most excited I've been by a Doctor Strange film. But the other thing I would praise it for is, unlike I think the first bits of Doctor Strange that we've seen, it's kind of taking cues from the Doctor Strange we got from Infinity War in particular, where it isn't just like magic where you've got like a beam out of your hand or a little shield thing that comes out. He does some cool magic spells in this, and like really wacky and wild stuff that he does with his magic, and that's a lot of fun. Like
how he uses magic at the end to fight against the big bad. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, I like the magic that he uses in this one. My only note on that still is that I'd like him to deliver it in the similar way he did in like the 90s Spider-Man cartoon when he appeared in that, where he says the name of the magic spell. And it's like, the winds of Watum! And like some of them like that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I think we're just at a point with MCU movies now where, like, I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, we're not quite sure where Phase 4 is going or what it's leading towards," but I kind of like that. I kind of like not having to think too far into the future with like the slate. I guess, like, I'm kind of looking at the slate, going, "Oh yeah, that's coming up," and not worrying about it too much. So, always a good time.
I did hear from comic fans that. And I think from massively popular podcast, The Weekly Planet, they're like, there's so many like directions they could go in it. There are things from the end of this film which if you dip into comic lore enough, it could explain why, you might see things like vampires in a Blade film now that haven't been introduced up to this point before. And I think it gives there's enough weird stuff that's gone on that you could say any number, item X, Y, or Z that you're expecting to be introduced.
X?
There are things that you could spin from this and say, no spoilers, man.
Why'd you say X?
Just because it's one of the three things. To bleep out that letter, so bleep Y and Z. Like there are lots of things that you could use this as like the thread to pull on to say, oh, this thing wasn't in it until now, and now you've done something, which means it will be. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to where it could go now, which is broad.
Just think, as comic book fans, we're just so lucky. Like, I find it hard to really ever complain, because I'm just like, even if I wasn't particularly into the story, like, look at all that cool shit we got to witness. Look at the characters, that we've seen in half a dozen movies getting some sort of part to play in an unexpected way. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're not particularly happy with character arcs, you're just like, wow, I can't believe this is like the 5th, 6th time we've seen this character in a film, and look how far they've come.
Yeah.
It's
it is interesting, and I like how I would kind of like it now if not everything becomes essential, and like it's like comics, that there's so much going on that there can be ones that you follow and ones that you don't, and if they dip into other ones, you don't necessarily have to have read all of the others, but you can get enough of what that character is, and then maybe you'll jump onto that series or whatever now. But
there is
I think that's the direction they're taking
with comics, where you never know if you could just jump into a comic, or if you have to get the reading order and you have to read all these side comics to make sense of a story. Like, I'm reading some Batman comics at the minute, and I've no idea what's going on some of the times, because there's other comics going on to the side that I've not read or didn't even know I had to read.
Yeah, you're reading it and going, who's this character? He's not very serious, is he? Always joking about, what's this fella's name? The bloody Larkster.
He's always joking. He's always bloody joking or something. I'm murdering.
Yeah,
I don't get this guy at all. How's he open to run a serious crime's a serious business? Look at him, laughing all the time. What's his story?
Yeah,
I don't know, but I want to see the origin of this guy's story. That's what I want.
As many times as possible,
as many times as possible. Yeah. Anything else that anyone wants to discuss from this week? Or?
I watched another multiverse film.
Oh yeah, of course.
I'm so desperate to see this. There are no screenings near me.
Yeah, so it's so weird. I think I've been randomly checking my Odeon app to see if it would ever pop up at all, because it didn't seem to have any screens in the UK, and it randomly came up. I've seen it came up this one time and one more time, and that's it. So 2 screenings in total for Everything Everywhere All of the Time. No, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
In another dimension, it is called All of the Time, and the Multiverse of Madness. Same one.
Yeah. It's I saw it in IMAX, and it was I don't know if it's because I was really tired from work, and the chairs went all the way back, so super comfy. The sound was almost painfully loud, but not like, it's just under that kind of like the perfect volume to engulf me. The screen was huge. I had like the best time. It's like one of my favorite cinema going experiences ever. And the film, I don't know. I mean, have you seen the reviews for it? It's like,
I'm trying not to get anything. Like, again, I was listening to Weekly Planet, and they said, like, before we start on this, normally we will talk a little bit about it and before we go into spoilers. But if you're interested in seeing this, don't listen to anything. And I took their advice and turned it off. And I'm not watching anything. I'm not reading anything. Even if I have to wait, because I imagine with a limited cinema release, it'll be on VOD quite soon if I can't find it, right?
I guess so. I mean, I think, who knows? Green Knight, it's an A24 film. Green Knight came out in Prime at the same time as some screenings in the UK, so it might be the same kind of thing. What I would say is it's I don't even want to give you kind of vibes and stuff to expect. I will just say it's really ridiculous, really sweet, and it was the kind of film you watch and it reminds you why films are really good. Like it takes you back to that place
great.
of watching films as a kid, like watching Back to the Future for the first time. Like it's just everything's so well put together, so bombastic. Like they've gone really. And the weird thing is, I found out that only 5 people did the special effects for the entire film, and they did it in their bedrooms over COVID lockdown. And so it's a really small team. It's amazing what they've been able to do. And Michelle Yeoh is fantastic. I don't want to spoil it to me. I'll just say it's like for me, I'm gonna have to watch it again, but it might be like one of my favorite films of all time. Like it's so good.
I have to watch it. I have to watch it as soon as I can.
I do worry like maybe I'm being just biased towards it because it's directed by Daniels, who Swiss Army Man, which was another favorite film of mine. So I do wonder if I'm like being easily swayed by it. But I don't think that's the case. The reviews, everyone else seems to be really loving it as well. So,
no, yeah, I think if you liked it, you've had that reaction. I think this day and age, in this economy, going to see a film a second time at a second screening, that's a powerful message.
I will go and watch this film again, and I think I'm going to at the cinema. I mean, and the last film I did that for was the Suicide Squad, which was also great.
You see, there's me telling you not to feel guilty. I feel like that when I watched the Suicide Squad. I was like, is it just because I think James Gunn's really good?
Yeah, there is another.
Yeah, I did like that film a lot.
I took my friend Dieter to see the Suicide Squad. He doesn't like superhero films at all, and he really liked it. So I don't think that's the case for that one. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Awesome. Also, if anyone else want to jump in, have you got anything else?
I've just done comics this week mostly.
Did you have one more thing, Luke? Did you say that?
So we finished Supernatural.
Oh,
we weren't sure what to jump onto next, and we ended up finding that all of Buffy is on the Disney Channel. So we started on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Is it?
The first
on Disney
season,
on Disney Plus, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
The first season feels more like the film than I remember.
Oh really?
Very 90s. There's we watched the last one we watched that was like an internet demon, and the way they talk about the internet, that one of them was like the internet's going to be really big. There's almost as many emails as real letters sent last year. It's going to get bigger from here. And I was like, wow, can you imagine the time? Almost as many emails as real letters sent.
Almost.
But
not wrong though.
It's fun. It does. The first season, I remember the first season being a bit ropey, like it's trying to find its feet. It does feel a bit Relic Hunter at times. If you ever watched Relic Hunter,
I'm aware of Relic Hunter. Is that like is it like a Sky One, like 9 o'clock on a Thursday type program?
Yeah. But I mean, it does have some really funny bits. You can tell Josh Whedon wrote it, and it's got all these usual great dialogue bits in there. It's good. Looking forward to carrying on.
I still intend to watch like a top 10 or something like that. I might get, because I never saw any apart from that one with the ventriloquist dummy. I've not seen any of the other Buffys, so I might watch them all one day.
Like them, and especially Angel as well. Angel gets a bit weirder and darker with all the demons and stuff.
I'm still working my way through slowly, finishing off series because I finished Moon Knight. I'm still.
I finished Moon Knight as well. Sorry, forgot about that.
Finished Moon Knight.
Me too.
Working my way through Halo as they come out, which is still good. What I still haven't finished Peacemaker, but the one I've seen the first couple and they're really good. But then we get in Ms. Marvel starts anytime soon, right? It's the end of this month, and I'm still trying to work my way through the Star Warsy bits. I'm on season 2 of Mandalorian, or as my phone auto corrects it to Ma Solo Reign. So I'm just finishing off Ma Solo Reign, and then get on to Obi-Wan.
What do you guys think of Moon Knight?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it.
Decent. Yeah.
I don't think it's I think the Marvel series on Disney Plus so far, I think most people I've spoken to, each of them has a different favorite, which is interesting. I don't think this top tip for me. I think I liked the finale more than a lot of people did, because I think I actually liked the kind of actiony beats and the way it tied up. So I thought there was a lot for them to achieve still. I think it was good, but I think oddly enough, on reflection, Hawkeye might still be my favorite.
I've not seen that one yet.
It's a nice Christmas story.
too late for me for that one. I have to wait till Christmas.
Next Christmas.
Yeah.
The only other thing I watched this week is the new Michael Bay movie, Ambulance.
I was going to say, is it Ambulance?
You know what? I think there's a good film in here somewhere. It's just a bit long. It's like it's 2 hours 15. I think it was like, if it was like 90 minutes or like, I don't know, 100 minutes, it would probably be a lot better. It just gets bogged down in thinking. Like, I love Jake Gyllenhaal and I love Yahya Abdul-Mateen. I don't know, just Jake Gyllenhaal gets that they're really trying to hammer home the fact, oh, he's so charismatic, this criminal man. Look at all the cool things he's doing and saying. And I was a bit like, I don't know. It's a bit bloated. Felt a bit bloated. Some of the action's good. It feels like it's, you know, wants to be like Speed / Bad Boys. A bit of a combination of that. As an action film to just kind of sit down and zone out to, good. But in terms of the fact it's like, oh, it's a huge bank heist. And then it's just, I don't know. It just feels... It could have been a lot better, but still, probably worth a watch.
What's your favorite bank heist movie of all time?
Heat.
You had that in the chamber, ready to go.
Yeah. I love the bank heist in The Place Beyond the Pines, just because he literally goes in with a motorcycle helmet on, stands on the desk waving a gun about, and it feels like you're right there with him, because I don't know if it's one single shot, it might be. It feels like you're right there with the character, like on his back, basically, like Yoda, while he robs a bank. But Heat is just got to be in terms of heist movies, definitely up there as my favorite.
You got a favorite heist movie, Luke, ready to go?
No.
The heist at the start of The Dark Knight deserves a mention, just because of that soundtrack, that Why So Serious track, the way and the sort of the city shots at the start. I would love to have seen that in IMAX. I never did.
I'm blanking on heist movies. What's the
Ocean's 11?
See, I've never seen Ocean's 11, but my favorite, I think, I don't know how well it holds up. It's been a few years now. I'm in love. The Inside Man.
Oh yeah.
What's the hell?
Good old Denzel.
Am I in the multiverse of madness?
One more.
Where in your original dimension there were no heist movies. Otherwise, the universe is identical.
What's your favorite heist movie? Oh, what? I've got another one. The Town, with Ben Affleck and Jeremy Renner. That's good as well. That's good. I think that's a Ben Affleck directed.
Yeah, I think so.
Movie. Or a horror heist, Army of the Dead.
Yeah, that's the one I've seen.
That's the best one.
That's all of them. There we go.
I was going to say Ant-Man, but then he specifically says this is not a heist movie at one point in the film.
And you go, don't believe you, mate.
You had it written there. Favorite heist movies, Ant-Man, number 1, and then he said it. And I crossed that off then.
Yeah.
So just that film, apart from
the
film of the week. What were you going to say then? Sorry.
Other than the film of the week, real quick, I also read horror adjacent. Actually, I was working through some comics. I read a comic called Vinyl. I'm afraid I don't have the creative team in front of me, but it was. I think it's been produced by Image now. Have released it and taken on publishing, but it was originally published by 12 Gauge Comics. You can find them wherever you find comics on the internet, be it Twitter or the socials. But basic premise is that a federal agent finds himself, he's part of an undercover operation. He gets just swiped off by almost like a cult that are of wrong-uns and of killers. And the one person that is able to try and rescue this guy is the serial killer who he's been working undercover, trying to get him to sort of covertly confess for years. And he's just grown really fond of him. So he takes it on himself to try and save this guy from the danger that he's in, with him and another few serial killer friends that he's able to gather together into this group to try and execute this plan to save him from like this secure cult compound. It is as mad as that description sounds. It is really, like, if you're a horror fan, there's lots of little nods to like horror cinema and franchises and slashers as well. Like Freddy and Jason and Michael Myers get like little cameo mentions and little appearances in prop form and so on as well from some of the killers. Some really disturbing like serial killer characters who are your heroes in this, like your superhero team that they meet. It's a lot of fun, and it's the short run has just finished. They've just released it as a trade paperback, so you can pick up the whole thing now. A lot of fun.
Interesting.
Lovely.
What's that called? So vinyl.
It's called vinyl, like the type of records.
Vinyl.
Vinyl.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, but that was it. Apart from that, as you guys were just saying,
fire in the sky.
Fire in the sky.
It's like Islands in the Stream.
I could have done a lot better, but that was the first one that came to mind. So here we go. Fire in the Sky, aka the X-Files. Okay, Fire in the Sky is a 1993 American biopic, yes, biopic, science fiction mystery film. Don't see the word horror there. Directed by Robert Lieberman, adapted by Tracy Tormé, based on Travis Walton's book, The Walton Experience, which describes an extraterrestrial abduction. If your name was Travis Walton, what else could you name your book? The Walton.
Jimmy
The alien. The aliens experience. What I asked.
Yeah.
It's another prog rock band name. The Walton Experience.
That should have been the subtitle, surely. I got abducted by aliens.
By Travis Walton.
Fire in the Sky. What's this about? Bloody plane exploding. The film stars D.B. Sweeney as Walton, Robert Patrick as Mike Rogers, and it also got James Garner, Craig Sheffer, Scott MacDonald, and Henry Thomas, aka Elliot himself from Elliot T from E.T. or Et. Elliot T from Et.
Mr. T's son, Elliot T. Please, Mr. T was my father's name.
An Arizona logger mysteriously disappears for 5 days in an alleged encounter with a flying saucer in 1975. His co-workers endure ridicule and contempt as they are wrongly accused of murder. And
is ridicule the thing you're most worried about? If you've murdered someone? Murderer.
Don't ridicule me for doing a murder.
I searched the woods and there was nothing. They took him.
You expect me to believe that a flying saucer came down and took your friend away to outer space?
That's the truth, mister. That's exactly what happened.
Is it? Is it?
We all saw the guy get zapped.
You saw something. At least you thought you did.
Robert Patrick wears double denim a hell of a lot in this film.
It suits him.
Which I enjoyed.
Yeah. In terms of ratings, so on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a critic score of 42% and an audience score of 57%. Roger Ebert said the movie's flaw is that there's not enough detail about the aliens, which is a bit, I mean, it's based on a true story. I mean, you can't just make up more stuff about the aliens, I guess. I don't know.
Why don't you give me more information about the aliens? Because I don't have it. Make it up.
That's for the Alien franchise to do years later. Yeah. More information, please.
What's the origin of these aliens? Sorry.
So IMDb is at 6.5 out of 10. Letterboxd 3.1 out of 5. Couple of reviews. Gooch Holt said, "When the scrotums pull the condom over his face, 5 stars."
Wait a minute. Gooch Holt says something about scrotums.
Yeah, when the scrotums pull the condom over his face, 5 stars.
Yeah.
And then Grimp Grump put, "A waste of my goddamn time. one neat scene that lasts 2 minutes tops, followed by 2 hours of schlock. I'd rather pull my teeth out than watch again. I slap one of them there aliens on their bald head. 1 out of 10.
Oh no, Grump is Grump.
Did he watch it backwards, or was the 10-minute scene there was the 2-minute scene he found really exciting? The bit where he's riding his bike on the pavement in the start.
You
can't do that, can you?
That's so risky. What if someone just came out the front door of the shop? Bang, dead.
I slapped one of them, their aliens on their bald head. He wouldn't even say I would slap. He said I slapped one of them.
Well, like he did. He's already done it.
He actually did.
He's
it's
been there,
habitual,
done that.
like unless he's made some kind of grammatical error, which how would he post that on a form on the internet? That's indicative that he commonly does it. I slap, I drink water. I slap an alien on its bald head.
So he says, I slapped one of them, their aliens on their bald head, 1 out of 10. So he's rating the experience of slapping them on the head. And he keeps on doing it.
Or he means he's only slapped one. He's only slapped 1 out of 10, and he's trying to get the rest.
Yeah. My mission in life will be to slap other 9 aliens.
Lalien.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
So yeah, I mean, the big thing there to take away, I guess, is that the Rotten Tomatoes critic score is 42%. I actually thought that would have been a bit higher. I mean, because this movie, I mean, is it really a horror film? It's like a horror short film with lots of padding.
Yeah,
it's like a horror short film, and as I think you mentioned, sorry Andy, I think you mentioned earlier, it's like a small town drama. It feels like a small town sort of drama / like a long episode of I don't know, Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah, it's like the big community. It's all about like the community and the experience of those people. It could be like a Lifetime, like daytime TV movie about the ridicule they get in the community. It veers into horror territory for me because the last 20 minutes is absolutely fucked.
Yeah,
I mean, that's all right.
Maybe that makes those bits more effective, the horror bits, because they kind of come out left field so much. But is it worth sitting through all of that? If you sit down to watch something scary, oh god, you're gonna love this. It's got the scariest sequence in any film I've ever seen in my life. Just hang 10 for 2 hours.
Everyone would be asleep. It'll kick off, and you'd sit forward and go, "Here it is, then, guys." Everyone's fast asleep.
Yeah. Technically, for a piece of horror cinema, what you probably want is just that one scene in isolation, or someone should pick that up and say, "Hey, make a film of this." But actually, I will speak very briefly in defense of some of the other parts of the film. Actually, maybe you could have made this earn a horror title a little bit further had you injected some more of the things from that 20-minute scene elsewhere in the movie, if you just rebalanced it out a little bit. But the pieces, the bits in the in the town and the bits around the relationships, they ain't half bad, They're not too bad at all.
I actually thought they were fine, which is why I'm surprised by the Rotten Tomatoes critic score being so low, because I don't know, it's not that bad. 42%. It doesn't seem to compute. I feel like it's very watchable.
Yeah,
very watchable. Yeah,
very watchable. I think everybody's good. Everybody's like, I'm interested in finding out how it pans out. Robert Patrick is good. The abducted guy, DB Sweeney, I thought it was the guy from ER for like the whole way through the film, until suddenly I got just a different angle of his face, and I went, actually, it ain't even him.
Yeah, I thought it was when it first started, I thought it was James Spader, but then he moved his face to another angle. That's the thing about this guy. He's got his face, depending on the angle, like he could look like any actor.
And at the end of the film, once he's become more sensible, Paul Rudd now.
Yeah.
Touch of the Paul Rudds about him, yeah. Once he's become more sensible, you mean just traumatized?
No, like in many ways, we'll cover it as we go through the story. I would say a couple of years of nightmares and so on, but by and large, he's a positive outcome off the back of this. So any objections to him marrying the girl he loves have been withdrawn after he comes back from being, because at the first, just before he gets abducted, in fact, the the guy says to him, I don't want you marrying my sister. You're a bloody dreamer, mate. You need some serious life experience before you can do that. Oh, I haven't got time for that. How can I get a lot of life trauma in me in just 5 days? I know. Yeah. And then after that, a mere 2 years later, he's settled down. He's got a more sensible haircut. He's got a house, and he's got his second kid on the way. He's got it all.
It's basically worth it. What you're saying, if you're not sure where your life's going, is get abducted, and then it'll give you some direction. Yeah.
Have a gap year,
get your priorities,
or get abducted by aliens.
Have a gap year. I've got a gap year.
You know this this kind of horrifying alien abduction vibe. I really like that kind of flavor of alien abduction. I don't think I've ever really seen it before outside of this. It always seems to be a bit too clean. Everything's kind of gooey and strange.
Oh yeah, there's definitely
really
something yuck about it, isn't there? It makes me think that yes, these are aliens and this is an alien ship, but I also think you grotty little horrible bastards. It doesn't make me think that they're, when people get abducted by aliens, you think, right, this is the pinnacle of that race coming to our planet to take somebody and do all these experiments, try and work out what makes us tick. Yeah. This just makes it, they seem like just horrible, grotty, like rebels who've left their planet and they go, right, we're going to go to abduct someone. Yeah.
It's like Toe Jam and Earl, but less positive vibes. They've like gone out on the spaceship and they've probably seen him get out of the truck and this going, just fuck this guy up. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Pull his legs off like he's a daddy long legs.
Did you ever see the only other thing I can think that kind of catches a similar kind of vibe would be did you ever play Prey? Not the remake, like the original one.
The original one where the guy gets abducted to Don't Fear the Reaper, and then they're making people into like meat. They're like eating them.
And you're like on like a conveyor belt, and you see like your family on the other parts of the conveyor belt getting squished or.
It was a great game, actually.
It was a really cool, like open. Yeah, really cool open sequence. I want to see more of this like horrifying alien abduction stuff.
Yeah,
it's cool.
It's something I haven't seen a lot of. Where maybe we'll see it in Nope later this year. Maybe not. I'm not sure the trailers give that kind of impression necessarily. But these like horrible. And you're right. You've already conjured the X-Files in this discussion. Like the kind of sinister, but still quite unknown. Like the idea of like aliens as scientists is something you can get on board with, or them being like an invading force, like in like an Independence Day, if you like. But just aliens whose exact motives are unclear, but are just horrible. That you get in this, maybe to an extent in The Signs as well. They're coming just to come fuck people. That's more of an invasion though, because they're everywhere. But
we don't like water. Oh yeah,
idiots.
Your head's getting abducted.
Head's been abducted. Yeah,
not again.
So I guess, how does it start? It's just them logging.
Yeah, it begins with all of the guys gathered together for a bit of they're all setting up a flashback. They're all getting together, and the mysterious investigators.
Guys, let's set up a flashback, shall we?
Yeah, they go
set up a flashback.
The whole town's turned up for this flashback in the pub.
Yeah,
and it's right,
gather round and hear you flashback.
They gather around Robert Patrick like he's bloody old bear. And they go on, tell us a story, old bear.
So it's a classic like small town, don't believe anything other than what they see in front of their face. It's set in 1975 in a town called Snowflake. All bloody snowflakes these days, aren't they? I can't say anything. So it's a bunch of loggers. Travis, played by Robert Patrick. No.
Travis is the abductee man.
Mike, played by Robert Patrick, and all of his dudes all gathered together to tell a story that sounds like something bad's happened to one of their mates, essentially.
And it could be like this is going to go into a health and safety video. It's like, and that's why you shouldn't play on the train tracks. But it isn't that. We go to like a Life Was Good flashback that just shows Everyone having a great time. He's riding his bike. He's cutting up a truck at the junction. He's just like shaking his fist at him playfully.
He's an absolute crazy person. He's riding his bike.
Dreamer.
We say riding his bike. He's not riding a push bike. He's on a motorbike.
He's the motorbike man.
He's a motorbike.
He wants to open his own motorbike man shop.
Yeah. And he's driving
Motors or something.
Yeah, MT Motors because their showroom is always empty.
That's an awful name. That's an awful.
Where people are turning up like, I want to buy a bike. Oh, showroom's empty, mate.
It's empty. It's in the name. It's in the name. MT. Well, I know it's supposed because it's Mike and Travis, but that's an awful name. And the fact that Mike doesn't say that's an awful name bothers me.
He just gives him nondescript dismissal. But,
meh.
But it's also like, you know, there are some things that are going well. His sister that works at the bakery is basically Jason Statham's the transporter. She knows to gather up the bagels and the sandwiches that he's made and step out of the... Mobile phone technology isn't around in this period, in the 70s. She knows to step out of that door at exactly the moment so you can take some sandwiches and give her a little high five.
He'd hear her coming. Sorry, she'd hear him coming, surely. But it's donuts, isn't it? They're having morning donuts. Morning donuts. That
sounds great.
Is that all right?
That sounds like the life. I want that life.
Yeah, especially if you're a physical job. You're logging all day. You're going to have chainsaw duels out there like these guys do.
You want to be full of donuts for that kind of business.
Yeah, you need the fast energy that only powdered sugar can provide to be able to do that type of work.
You don't want to be too full. That's why they take the middles out of the donuts.
Yeah,
get rid of that.
That'd be one step too far, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So he nips along to Mike's house. Mike's is a good working man. You know, they got bills to pay. He comes up with his MT Motors, like all of his business ideas. He's like, well, this thing about MT Motors, like, sure, our showroom's always going to be empty, but we can't do that to the bank. He's like, that's all right. I've sketched a picture of what it will look like as well with my crayon.
Jesus Christ. Travis,
and this is before he's been abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
This is before he's messed up.
As an alien, been doing tests on your brain.
What? Maybe, to be fair, do we see the picture at the end of the movie? Maybe that's why the aliens let him go. Maybe they go, oh, what's this in his pocket? Empty. And they go, very good. And there's no bikes there because, in alien language, obviously, the showroom is always empty. He goes, take this back to our planet. Great.
And then someone slaps one of the aliens on his bald head.
Yeah. If you stay to the end credits, I didn't watch the end credits. Maybe if you do, you see them opening those three fellas opening up a
motorbike showroom, but with just a mustache and a hat on, and people just think they're human. Are you all right?
Just three of them in a big long coat standing on each other's shoulders.
Classic, absolutely classic.
But yeah, so they have a little bit of, you know, he goes around. Travis is at Mike's house. It's Mike's younger sister that is his girlfriend. He's like, oh, should we just get married? I'm going to open this bike shop. I've done the sketch. The hard part's done. She's like, all right, then maybe we will get married.
The hard part's done.
But then they go to work. They got a bit of a gang. They just do some mad bants about beating the shit out of each other. One of the guys, is it Dallas, that doesn't like Travis?
Yeah, Dallas and Travis don't like each other. They're like threatening each other with chainsaws at one point.
Just walk up to each other and go, chainsaw you. Chainsaw me? I can chainsaw you, mate. You just do it. You do it. Go on, rev your chainsaw because I don't need. I'll turn it off. In fact, it's a good job. Mike's watching. That's why before it.
Mike's having none of it. He's like, can you guys not just get along and stop trying to chainsaw each other? Yeah.
Do we ever know why they don't get on?
They secretly have massive crushes on each other. That guy who the other guy, the bad guy, is that Craig Sheffer? He is the in Nightbreed. He's the main guy who turns into a demon in that. Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, I thought I recognized him. But yeah, there's some this ragtag group are all quite interesting. You got Henry Thomas, obviously Elliot, as we already mentioned, he's what like 17 years old, did they say? There's like an Indiana Jones guy for some reason.
Yeah. He's like a cross between the good and bad from Indiana Jones. He has an Indiana Jones hat, but the glasses of the main Nazi. from that
I've
film.
got a great look for you.
Indiana Jones is a bit too good. What can we do to? I know the Nazi glasses.
There's a guy I kept forgetting was there. He kept popping up. I think he was a guy. Did he have blonde hair or something? Kept popping up, and I go,
man.
"Who's that guy?"
Billy
It's
T-shirt.
that guy. Billy T-shirt. Oh, John Hair. And then Dallas Craig Sheffer is kind of like he's the rebellious nut.
He's the bad boy of the bunch.
Oh, it gives shit. So obviously, naturally, when they start thinking they've murdered their friends, people gravitate towards him. He's got a criminal record as well, you know. He's done some serious jaywalking.
He's been chainsawing some people.
I think if I had to suspect anyone, it would be Elliot T. He doesn't say much. He doesn't emote much at all. He seems very suspicious.
He's very upset all the time, and I think, how upset can you be?
Yeah. Too upset.
I mean, fairly open and shut case though, because they finish the day's work, and rows aside, the only other bit is that Mike goes, "Yeah, I don't want you marrying my sister, mate," as we already covered. Like, you're a bit of a dreamer. What you need is a bit of life experience, a bit of trauma. You need to have you need the experience of being lifted up into the sky by your dreams, not anything else. And then it just being horrible and it not working out. Because but I want to marry your sister really soon. How am I going to get that experience quickly?
Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen?
On the drive home, they go, "What's that?" Line drops like a fire.
Yeah, so they call it a fire in the sky. They're all keen for Dallas to explain that he saw it. Well, you explain what you saw. You saw it first. Yeah, by like 4 seconds. What's that over there? What? Oh yeah. It's like you don't. The experience doesn't now belong to him because he saw it first.
This is the alien witnessing version of whoever smelt it dealt it.
And it turns out Dallas smelt it. But yeah, initially they're like, "Oh, is it a forest fire? What the hell's going on over there?" But then they go, "Hang on a minute, that looks mad. I've never seen anything like it. Wow, there's no smoke if there's a fire. Let's go and see." There's a big
it's
red
like
light.
I mean, they say saucer, but to me, it's like a bit. I mean, Ben, you got the picture there, like engorged, enraged.
It looks like it looks like a nipple. It looks like a very dry nipple, a very chapped nipple that you would maybe need some E45 on. It also looks a bit like a condom that hasn't been unraveled.
All those toys that you push and then you put on your table, and a second later it pops and jumps into the air.
Oh yeah. Like a little jumping, whatever they are called.
Yeah.
It's like a big floating nipple.
But with like the lava texture from like an N64 game on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you've not seen the picture, we've described it absolutely perfectly.
That's exactly how Alan Dallas should have described
it. Go back 30 seconds and close your eyes while you hear us describe that again. Nipple? What you've got there is perfect image.
What the salient points? Nipple, enraged, volcano texture from an N64 game.
Yeah.
Unraveled
condom.
Pre-unraveled condom. Pre-raveled.
Yeah. So
I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
A flat condom, effectively. It's a bit smoky too. There's a red haze coming off that.
Yeah. Or you know what? Also, like a baby's bottle teat as well.
Yeah.
Which is obviously supposed to represent a nipple. So I suppose we're barking at the correct tree. That's a say. Yeah. That's not a saying. That's not a saying.
You're in the right school of design.
You're in the right tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they see it and they pull up and everyone's going, "Cool, look at that." Travis, not a good enough look for him. He gets out and is properly standing under it, having a look, which if films has taught us anything, it's not where you want to be around an alien spaceship because something might happen to you, and it does. Everyone's shouting at him, "Come on, come away!" And he's like
dancing.
He's doing those moves. He's doing that bit where you like makes it look like your knees have swapped sides.
There's a one-man Mexican wave.
Wow. Yeah, he's doing all the classic moves of the time, and eventually he gets their attention.
Abduct me, boogie.
And everyone's reacting in like various ways. Like everyone's really, really affected by it. Everyone's really shitting their pants, to be fair. Because what happens is the alien spaceship, like there's like a beam, but it just knocks him out. knocks him down to the ground. Well, it sends him flying backwards, isn't it?
It's like static electricity or something. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
What.
Yeah, he like looks up in the air and like goes, gets stage fright when he gets put in the spotlight. He's not like showing off anymore. He's not doing like the sand dance and stuff like when you're on Den and Tig, you're dancing about. He looks up at the sky and gets frozen and then gets blasted to the floor, and the guys do one.
And the guys immediately go, he's dead. When you see someone get knocked off their feet by an unseen force, you automatically just go, dead.
They're dead, aren't they? That's a one-hit kill.
Yeah.
The GTA wasted word comes up, dong, in front of them. And then they go, right, that's it. Let's get out of here. So they drive away. And then they all like bargain with each other we should go back. He's not dead. Oh, yeah, he is. But everyone wimps out except Mike, who just says, oh, now I'll go back and find him. It's all good.
But he's gone.
But when he goes back, he's completely gone. Not even a
boots, just
Travis shaped, just one shoe, smoking shoe, or like a Travis shaped like outline on the floor. Silhouette. No, he's gone.
Absolutely gone. No sign of him. Just to pull this bit, what would bit of real life horror? What would you do if you saw a spooky fire in the sky N64 nipple hovering above your car?
I think I'd probably stop and have a look, but I don't think I'd get as close as Travis does.
In case you get beamed.
But then we don't know.
Why does he go into the light? He's like a moth, like drawn to it, like he runs straight to it. I don't know why you would go that.
No, I think in this point of his life, having not been abducted by anyone, he's just a bit of a fuckhead, isn't he? He like goes for it.
I guess they've laid the ground because they know people watching this game like, why would he do that? They've laid the groundwork. He's an idiot, and he looks.
He would have ridden his bike. He would have cut it up on his bike if he'd been on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Those aliens would be like, maybe that's it. The guy driving the truck at the book. Why didn't they treat him as a suspect? He was furious.
Yeah, I don't think I would run underneath it and start trying to.
Are we meant to think that there's some? I was almost like, is there something drawing him in, like some sort of signal, some wave,
mind power?
Yeah, come and have a look at this nipple. Get your eyes on this. That's why none of the rest of them can even get out of the car because they're so scared.
Maybe that's why. Obviously, we don't know the relationship status of all of those. Maybe that's why they make it look like a nipple, because at least Mike is married. Maybe some of the others are, and they'll be like, "You're a single man, are you? Maybe you're not looking at it. Do you want to have a look at some of these spaceship boobs?" And he'd be like,
I mean, look at his face in the picture behind me. That's the face of a guy who's seeing a giant floating boob.
He looks like
he wants to suck.
He looks like Marv from Home Alone 2 when he's getting electrocuted. Yeah, he'll turn into a skeleton like immediately after that. Seconds.
Yeah. So he gets blasted. He's gone. The police they gets to the end of the flashback, and the policeman basically goes, fucking likely story, and he goes, no, I told you it was going to be weird and you weren't going to believe us, but that's right. Exactly what happened.
I got so mad to say, right? It's going to be mental, but when I tell you, you can't A, laugh, or B, not believe me because it's 100% the truth. Yeah, fine. Yeah, 100%. No.
You promise that you won't go back on this? No, I won't. And then they turn around, boy meets world style. Unless it's about aliens, in which case
it was aliens. What? No. I said don't laugh. No. Just expelling air out of my mouth. Just I had too much in there.
I'm just thinking of something else that he said earlier. It was funny.
Yeah. Oh, it's aliens, is it? Right. Okay. But to be fair, I don't know. Like they believe what? So they believe that all of these guys have just all grouped together and gone, let's just lie and say he was abducted by aliens.
Is that the first draft of your murder story? Just tripped or something like that?
He tripped, or he's vanished, or he was there one minute, he's gone the next.
Yeah.
Nah, it was bloody aliens, mate. Oh, what?
Yeah. I said it was aliens. They don't believe him. And then there's a nice scene at the end before they go out and do the searching. the character that is in equal parts the good and baddies from Indiana Jones. He goes to church, and I remember seeing there's like a beautiful stained glass window of Jesus looking up to a beam of light. I thought, they got that. Jesus and all in the past.
That's exactly what happened to Jesus. What do they call him? Choir boy. They call him something like that. Classic. You got choir boy. He loves Jesus. You got the guy who done a bit of porridge, done a bit of bird. He's there.
He's called Dallas.
He's called Dallas.
Some people, there's a jail in Dallas.
You got Mr. Hare, and then you got
Billy T-shirt.
Robert Patrick. At some point in this movie, Robert Patrick has a shave and all his beard's gone, and I was like, hang on a minute, who's that? Who's this new character?
He needs that beard for later, but he has a massive one at the end.
He's got so many like look changes in this movie. Like that's free right there.
The whole portfolio piece in
yeah. And apparently he got hired for X-Files on the back of this. Apparently Chris Carter enjoyed his performance in this film so much it led him to cast him. It wasn't until like 7 years later that he ended up in X-Files, but apparently when he knew he needed a new person, he was like, hang on a minute, I know
I need someone that believes or doesn't believe in aliens. I know, just the man.
When did Terminator 2 come out in relation to this?
92, so before
this. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
He'd already established himself as a man.
Yeah. A man that might be looking for someone.
A man that might be looking for someone, get his hands on you.
This is the bit that I particularly enjoyed in this film. It took me a second to work out who it was, but the next day, everyone's going out searching for Travis, right? They're all going to go out and look for him. It's difficult. All the guys are there, apart from Dallas, who makes no secret of not liking him. But Mike is about to be held personally responsible for Travis's disappearance by his older brother. And I would take this man's threats very seriously, because do you know who he is?
Oh my God. Wait there. Let me just try and remember, because I definitely recognized him. He's someone in a slasher movie, right?
He is. You don't see him look like that, though. He only looks like that at the very beginning of the film. But you might know his voice. That's right. That, my friends, is Jack Frost.
Oh my God! I definitely didn't think it was Jack Frost. I can guarantee you that. No way.
Jack Frost, and he's like, "I will hold you personally responsible if my brother has been deaded."
Scott MacDonald. All I noticed is that
Jack Frost.
All I noticed is he had a really weird, like his beard was very straight. It was like he had a neck beard that like ended in a really weird way. Sorry, Scott.
He does voices for like video games. He did some voices in Dead Space, LA Noire.
Oh wow,
quite a few things.
I recognize.
Chris Carter was like, "Yep, having him as well."
Yeah, I'll have you all for this.
Get in the van, and you
get in the van.
In your pop.
I said here he was on. He was on Conan. I get SG-1. He loves them aliens.
He bloody loves the aliens. I recognized him, but it wasn't from that, so I don't know what I've seen his face in.
Was
before.
It from Three Ninjas Knuckle Up as Eddie?
Oh, of course. One of the main henchmen. Now it's just the community kind of. Everyone's heard about the aliens. Mike's wife is like, "Oh, the kids are going to be called liars at school." Is that why do you think I'm a liar and a murderer? And the police guys want them to take a polygraph test.
Yeah.
And this is where we get some nice like community. Like I think some of this is pretty good.
There's some visitors to the town as well, like UFO hunters and not hunters, but UFO enthusiasts who come to get a look. And then there's a guy who works with an agency, well, not an official agency, but like people who love UFOs a lot. And he gives Mike his card and says, "Look, if you ever need anybody," and I thought he's definitely going to throw that away, Mike. But no, it doesn't. It looks like he kept it.
He keeps it. Business cards are a big deal back then. You keep older.
Yeah, Just put that away somewhere for a rainy day.
In case I do ever need to phone an alien specialist.
Yeah. Yeah, and then obviously it's a bit of a difficult one because Mike's wife doesn't quite believe him. I think everybody's kind of they get an FBI agent in as well. Is it an FBI agent?
I think so.
Frank Waters.
No,
it's like
some kind of special investigator. And I think at some point the film kind of leads into, are you meant to believe that maybe he's kind of like a government guy that like is there to
maybe get a little bit of information about the
yeah.
fiery nipple. But he pretty much from the word go suspects foul play, and he kind of like leans into he notices the tension between everybody, and also brings up that Dallas has got a criminal record. So pretty much the whole town soon start to believe that these loggers have done it. I think they all go into like a diner at one point, don't they? And some old man is just like staring at him, and then he confronts one of them.
Yeah, and that's where he calls him a choir boy, and he goes, "Oh yeah, show you a choir boy, punch you, old man, take that."
I'll bloody punch you.
And is that the point
choir
where
boy would do that, would it?
The policeman, who's a friendly policeman, convinces them to do the test?
Yeah, he asks them to do a lie detector test. They go and see Dallas, who hasn't been helping with the search. He basically goes, well, his opinion is kind of, well, of course, like basically you're telling the truth until that machine says that you didn't. And then if you're telling the truth or not, everyone says you're a liar. And then, of course, you'll turn on me and then say, I'm doing the criminal record. So when people are saying that you're going to be in trouble for it, I'm looking forward to the day that you all then decide that it's me.
He thinks that they're going to make a deal eventually. If it looks like they're going to be done, they'll just make a deal to put Dallas, stitch him up, and they have a bit of an awkward, weird scuffle, don't they?
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like,
some of the most,
I want to beat you up, but also
fights.
I want to beat you up, but also hug you, and I can't decide.
Just a bit of shirt pulling.
Come here, yeah, Rowan. We'll give you a noogie.
It's like, no.
Not the noogie.
Yeah, he's putting all they have like a bit of rough and tumble, but they work it out. And then there's like a town hall meeting. Mike's marriage appears to be increasingly on the rocks as like the searches kind of back off looking for Travis. And then there's like a town meeting, and even his like pretty much at this point estranged wife is like there at the meeting where everyone's saying that the kids are scared and there's like press hounding them and is the town safe? Why haven't you made any arrests? And the sheriff doesn't really have much of a handle on it. Yeah. And then Mike turns up and does again show real stuff. Yeah.
We like relates
if I was
how
Chris
he knows
Carter,
everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. If I was Chris Carter, this is what, because he says like, my kids go to school with yours. I went to school with you. Like you, and like they've lost their job as well, which is added to their marriage problems because they've lost the contract for the logging because
where have they lost it?
People who want trees.
We were waiting for this login for days. Why haven't you finished it? Oh, sorry, my mate went missing. Sorry, cancelled.
Oh, all right, hang on. I suppose it's very serious actually. If your mate has gone missing, do you know how he's gone missing? To be honest, this is all academic. There's no explanation for your mate gone missing that would mean I would cancel your contract. It's a tragedy. It was Aliens, unfortunately, is on that very short list of reasons I would cancel your contract for.
Gutted. Absolutely gutted.
Yes, he does a big scene here and says, fine, we'll take your lie detector test. But if you've got a problem with me, then why
does Mike go and have a shave and put on a fresh shirt to do this? Is it just to try and show them, look, I'm a stand-up member of the community. I got a fresh shirt and lovely chinos. Don't think I did a murder, please.
Yeah, it doesn't make the gravitas, so he look all like teary-eyed as he gives this delivery.
Yeah. What I kind of like about this is that during the main duration of the film, we genuinely don't know what happened to Travis, where he's gone, or if he's going to come back, or anything like that.
There's no aliens yet. Well, we saw the spaceship, but
we did see the spaceship.
Flashback. So is that like do we suspect it's like an unreliable narrator?
Oh God, can you imagine? No, it's in the film, right? I'll just believe it regardless.
Well, I saw it with my eyes. I was a witness to this too.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, so then they go and do the lie detector test, and we get like a interesting scene where obviously everyone's getting asked essentially the same questions, but also
quite difficult questions. The guy says, "Is my shirt white or not?" And it's like a pinstripe one with lots of.
And the
different
guy's
colours.
like, "Well, it's got some white on it," and he goes,
Just
"Oh,
answer
well,
yes or no." Yeah.
Yes or no? Yes. Liar!
Yeah, I get this sometimes. There is a difference between lying and being wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like the little marks he makes on the paper, like he's doing like little Sudokus and games on there.
Yeah.
As it's like passing by.
That's the symbol.
I'd like to know what
they lies.
Yeah. What is he just looking for, like peaks and troughs on it or something?
Well, I guess like I'm not a lie detector operator, never claimed to be, but I think it's
That's
to
a
do
lie.
with like only yes or no answers can be lie detector tests. But like I think like it's to do with the time that it's like the stress and the thinking, isn't it? So obviously it can't really detect actual lies, but it's looking at when you have those stressful situations. So I think maybe with those questions, they're looking to see when you are trying to calculate or when you're trying to think about things. So
I would only lie,
speaking,
really throw them off. Don't give them a basis to go
or just
off
accept that you're going to say yes to everything. It's like, yeah.
Did you do the murder?
Yeah.
Yes. No.
Oh fuck no. And you're really calm about it, so it'd be like, not lying.
Yeah.
But they do answer the questions about the alien spaceship and everything like that, and then the guys kind of fall out because they haven't really appreciated that they've come and done this, and they're not willing to share any information with them. So they just send them home, and everyone's furious.
Yeah, because they say one of the tests was inconclusive, so we can't actually give you the results because we need the results from everybody. And then everyone goes, "All right, fair enough." But Mike goes, "No, absolutely not! I've had enough. I've had a gut."
They should have revealed the results, like on Family Fortunes, and they point to a board, and it makes this noise.
A survey said.
A survey said, "You absolute filthy liar."
I like Mike's reaction. He gets so angry. I mean, maybe rightfully so. I mean, they were there for ages, weren't they?
Yeah. I think that he's almost trying to say, look, we've done everything you've asked of us, and for some reason, you're not doing it.
You still don't believe in the bloody aliens I definitely saw.
Aliens. You wait till the last scene of this movie.
But then they leave. You wait till the last scene of this movie. Then they leave, and I think one of them, maybe the lie detectorist or someone says,
"No, I did check this. These are inconclusive. My blue. That's a lie because they're very conclusive that these guys are not lying."
Yeah.
What would you do? Aliens confirmed.
I guess there is a difference between them telling the truth, meaning that they saw aliens, or they saw something that they cannot explain, and there was something in the sky that robbed off with their mate, and that is true. So do we try and investigate that a bit more? And probably as a small town sheriff in the early 70s, your equipment to investigate aliens is really limited, but you can maybe eliminate them and say your guy has been taken by someone else.
Yeah.
Someone else might be an alien, might not be an alien. Ask Elliot. He's been here this whole time and he ain't giving us any information. Have you got any history with these dodgy
these
extraterrestrials? No.
Never in my life. But just as everything is coming to a head, like, the Mike is kind of sleeping downstairs, treasuring some last moments with his kids before the family falls apart effectively, because the wife is still, his wife still isn't really up amongst and together with what he's been saying, and they're losing money, they don't have work, so they're under a lot of stress, and they keep getting calls from people, and they get one more, and Mike goes to answer it instead of But instead of it being like a reporter or more like prank callers or people giving them abuse over the phone, you never guess who it is. It's only Travis. Having seen 1982's E.T., he's like, you have to phone.
Yeah.
So he gets on the phone. Yeah, reverses the charges. Thing is, he has a load of trouble. He has a load of trouble talking, but he must have had to speak to the operator to ask them to reverse charges.
Yeah. Do you just want us to reverse charges? Yeah. We'll do it.
Screaming down the phone.
Here it says.
Now he sounds like Marv from Home Alone.
Just doing a Marv impression. Here it says he's found at the gas station, alive but naked. Is that alive but naked?
With 2 T's.
Yeah.
Alive,
but naked.
Alive but naked. Caught him on the counter. Call me red handed, creeping with the girl next door. I've been abducted for 5 days. All right, that's my lie, and I'm sticking with it.
It wasn't me. The shaggy defense.
My husband keeps saying he's been abducted by aliens every time he goes on a binge,
on an absolute bender.
Dehydrated and incoherent. Oh, they didn't even give him a drink while he was there.
Bad
he was
hosts.
Like, absolutely parched. They went, got nothing for you. This Marmite. Lovely, a lovely, refreshing spoonful of Marmite.
Hey, shit.
No.
He's pretending it's nice because it's what aliens do. Oh, I can't be rude. And he's like, lovely.
Yeah, that's how I react to things I enjoy. Rub my belly and say,
yeah. But yeah, they find him. To be fair, Mike has picked up the whole gang. So his Mike's younger sister, Travis's girlfriend, is in the car. Travis's brother, Jack Frost, is in the car. Mike's wife is in the car. They're all driving around, and they find him. They go, there's no one at that phone, but there's a petrol station up here. I'm gonna go, and that's where they find him.
He's wrapped up into a little ball. He looks like a little hedgehog or something you find at night. Like he's so small.
Defense mechanism. He's so small. Well, in fact, Mike scoops him up into his hand and blows on him. It coaxes him back to life.
Yeah.
And he goes,
puts him in a little box, and he wants some water. So he just says, right. He sends off the choir boy, who's also in the car. Go and get him some water, and he runs off. And then moments later, we see they've just put the tap on in the toilets, and he's just drinking out of that.
Yeah. That reminded me of, when if you'd had a skimful and you wake up at I don't know 5 a.m. and
the bathroom tap, don't you?
the mere concept of water is so far removed from your brain, like you can't even remember what it's like. You start drinking it, it's like the elixir of life. Well, it is. And it's the most delicious. It's just water flavored, but you're like, it's bloody lovely.
Do you get a cup then, or do you get it straight from the tap?
I think
straight around the tap,
straight from the tap, and also if you just brush your teeth as well, it's heavenly.
If you've got a real bad normal level hangover, it's a 2 toothbrush kind of job. You got to get on when you get up straight away, and then another one after about an hour. You're like.
And then you want to drink enough water to hear it sloshing about as you walk back to bed.
Yeah, your eyeballs to be floating. And then, but yeah, Mike's having all that water, and then they think, should we phone an ambulance? Nah, I tell you what, I've got this card for this alien, guys. I don't know when else I'm going to get to use it.
This is so strange because they call those alien guys, and then they're all like fuming that they're there. Even Mike, who called them, he's like, all right, I've had a guts for you now. Get out of it.
They're being weird people. They're demanding quite a lot. They're demanding everyone to be quiet whilst they interview Mike, who's only just got back. I don't know. I'd be like, just wait till later. Why
take some pictures of him naked on the top? Give me a dressing gown.
Yeah, let him have a sandwich and sit down before he starts.
Sandwich and sit down. Get him a pair of cakes at least.
Like to be fair, I would say
if sugar lumps are flopping about.
Yeah. Any kind of sporting event is less harrowing than a 5-day alien abduction. Get him a foil blanket and a nana.
Yeah.
So they lose their temper with them, and they go, Fine, plan B, hospital then, I guess. They take him to hospital and he's in there and he's reet poorly. He's had no food or drink for 5 days. Mike goes to see him, goes, yeah, I know you've had a tough time, but I think I'm getting divorced.
Yeah.
You think you got it bad? Divorced.
Mike says something like something along the lines of, yeah, so you can see why we left you there, but I did come back. So like,
can't be mad.
Kind of, yeah, exactly. He frames it in the way that you can't be mad that I left you there because I came back.
And then he looks over and goes, you left me. I wasn't angry about it before, but now.
He pretty much does blame, like,
I mean,
blames Travis, doesn't he, for it? He's like, you got out of the truck, you absolute fool.
Yeah.
But yeah, then they have like, is it like a welcome home party for him after he?
Yeah, they have like a surprise party.
Idea.
So he comes out of the hospital and the psychiatrist gone, I know literally you've not been able to bring yourself to talk because something horrible has happened to you.
You can't touch him without him screaming like a 5-year-old girl at the minute. Let's get as many people into this small house as possible. Let's have a little sweaty mosh pit. Everyone arriving up against each other.
As soon as he arrives, everybody scream and pop balloons and blow party poppers.
Just poking, prodding from all angles with little.
Yeah. Everyone put these alien masks on. It'll be funny because like on the way back though, like all the people, the press are wanting to talk to him. The little kids go, "Hey Travis, you're famous. Sign our newspaper." And the policeman's there, the special investigator going, "So you're really famous, aren't you? Bet there's a lot of money in talking about aliens." Master Liar says, "What?" You go, "Pardon?" Damn. Next time, Travis.
He goes, and then he also gets his favorite thing, which is syrup on the head.
I put the evocative. Sometimes a smell or a texture that'll bring back memories, won't it? If you smell something that reminds you of playing on the school fields, the cut grass. When Travis gets a bit of maple syrup and he goes mad under the table, a bit of maple syrup goes down. He goes into his memory palace.
He remembers that trip to Canada he had 10 years ago, and he's like, no, not again.
Maple syrup on everything, no. What he actually remembers is that time just a few days ago when he woke up in a big pool of maple syrup on an alien spaceship. I tell you what, aliens, you may have mastered intergalactic travel and so on. Not met an alien that is any good at decorating. Absolute shit. No aesthetics in their ships at all. Just big messes. This is
the most like disgusting looking interior of an alien spacecraft ever. It's like it's like in a state of disrepair. It's a shit show. There's dead bodies. There's goopy goop.
Yeah.
There's
the vibe weirdly reminds me of Jacob's Ladder. I think maybe more in the flashbacks leading up to this. But I don't know, there's something about the way the lights it's beaming down on his face.
It's horrible. There's like a rancid film over the kind of pod that he's in that he has to poke his hand through.
A membrane.
Membrane.
It looks like it's just the ship has just been left for years and years and years, and these aliens are still mucking about with abductions in like the shittest little ship ever. It's like
never on the Hoover round.
Never on the Hoover round. MOT's due. It's absolutely riddled with issues, that UFO.
It's a rancid ship. It makes the like an alien, like a xenomorph hive, makes that like the bloody habitat catalogue. Lovely. Like
yeah, it does.
It's a real state, and then no sooner has he pierced that membrane that he
slips out,
tumbles out of the thing into like a gravityless void on a little string.
Yeah, it's just so strange, isn't it? Like it's such a strange like fever dream. This whole like scenario.
It is also. I mean, what I'd say if everyone wants to watch this film and they're not sure, just watch it. It's like a 5-minute sequence or something.
It's the last 20 minutes of the movie, and like there's about 5 minutes where they talk about it again at the end. But
it's like so specific,
it really
and unique and creepy, and
it feels like they've just taken someone's description, like maybe it is the real description given by Travis Walton in the Walton Experience, of what it was like and what happened and what the interior looked like. And it's looked like they've gone, right, let's just, based on your description, let's just make it. Doesn't matter how aesthetic it is. Let's do it because we want it to be as alien as possible, like literally. Very strange.
Yeah. On the Wikipedia entry, it says, in his flashback, he awakens inside a slimy cocoon. Breaking out of its membrane, he finds himself in a zero-gravity environment inside a cylindrical enclosure whose walls contain other similar cocoons, and he is horrified to inadvertently discover that one contains the decomposing remains of a human body.
Yeah, that's horrid.
Puts his hand. Have you ever done that in the middle of the night? If you put your hand in something gross by accident?
In a whole bowl of pasta. It looks like he did it.
Yeah. You're reaching in to, like, just grab yourself, like, oh, there's that tin of Diet Coke in the fridge. I fancy that. I'm awake, and I forgot this blancmange was in here. Oh, no.
Philadelphia. It's always Philadelphia. Accidentally open it.
I've got Philly on my hands.
Gravy. Leftover gravy.
You know that prank where someone's in a toilet stall and they ask for toilet paper, and as they grab it, they put Nutella on the guy's hand.
Yeah. Oh, what's this? Is it shit? No, it's just Nutella. Oh, you've had me. You've absolutely ruined me.
Yeah.
A guy I know used to do that all the time, but like not in that scenario, but like he would walk into a room full of people with a piece of toilet paper with Nutella on it, and they sort of start brandishing it into people's faces, and they'd be like, "Get out! Oh, you're disgusting! Oh, it's my shit." What an idiot!
He's just like carrying like a party pack of Nutella around with him.
Yeah. He did it. He loved it. He was always doing it. What an absolute weirdo.
I mean, the way to, not that I condone escalating these things, but the way to have got that guy back was to actually get some shit on him sometime.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Humiliate him.
Yeah. Leave. Just throw that. So try and spook him with the same trick. And he'd go, oh, yeah, I know that.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, welcome to being blind.
Absolutely humiliating. Welcome to being blind.
Because I assume it's dog shit that you've done, not you.
Definitely dog shit. So Travis like floats into this sort of chamber and he thinks he sees some aliens in there, but no, it's just those leftover inflatable aliens from the 90s.
I really like that thing where like those leftover their space suits. I've never ever considered it that aliens probably aren't immune to the void of space, because space is the worst. I've told you this before. People tell you that worse things happen at sea. You can't say that to astronauts because space is the fucking worst. One little thing goes wrong and you're done. You're brown bread.
Because these little spacesuits look like the way people have described aliens for years, isn't it?
The friendly little grey aliens, the shiny little men.
Yeah.
And they're just their spacesuits. That's a really good idea. Brilliant.
Yeah.
They're actually little brown men inside.
Yeah. Little brown dudes. Yeah, and then he gets pretty much apprehended.
Yeah, one of them comes up behind him. Snap goes to grab him by the shoulder and he biffs his helmet off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I watched what's his name? Travis Walton. He was on the Joe Rogan podcast and he was talking about his experience. It's really interesting to watch. Like, and he said the film depicted it as quite like a dark moment. He thinks in revisiting it, in his mind, he thinks that he was just so shocked at what was happening and he hit this alien on the head, but he didn't think the aliens were being violent or aggressive in any way. He thinks he just saw one and like punched it to get away from him because he was so scared of it. But he said they might have actually been quite nice. These really charming little guys. They might
have been quite nice. Hello there, sir.
We come in.
You're a little bit lost, aren't you? Bang! Uppercut.
You were
double fist.
Yeah. What we did was we brought you up here to explain. Please don't tell anyone about it. Bang!
Tombstone power driver one.
And because it's in like zero because it's in 0G, he's got loads of moves. He does like a guile flash kick. He does like a backflip kick.
You know when you're a kid and you do special moves when you're in the pool, it's like that, cracking them all out, doing the Liu Kang never-ending flying kick.
He's flying around doing all those things. Apparently, I read a little Wikipedia description of the actual experience, and apparently in the experience that he told in his book, the Travis Walton Experience, he
my favorite album.
He fought three of them, and then met like a human character in like a space helmet. And after he met him, he's when he passed out and then had horrible things happen to him. So got sold out by one of his own. They didn't put that into the film. He was fighting the three. Then this big guy turned up. He was the leader.
These ones are actually quite strong, aren't they? I think they get him on the floor and they drag him across the floor.
Yeah, they wrestle him. They like once that first one, like he's fighting one, and then three of them come and they team up on him and they pants him.
Humiliated.
Put his t-shirt over the top of his head like a hockey player, and then they start rubbing his stomach really hard.
Yeah, giving him a pink belly. No. So they like force him onto a table. This is, again, it's quite a harrowing thing, isn't it? Because it goes from a fight to like being like manhandled by these three aliens who pin him down, and he's terrified at this point because we get a pretty good look at these fellas, don't we? They're like little muscle men, but with big heads.
Big heads and tiny little faces in the middle of their heads.
Yeah, they put like the plastic bag over his face.
Well, they took him in real tight.
Took him in really tight. Yeah.
That's too tight.
It's a special alien blanket that once you're tucked in normally can constrict you.
It's like they're sealing him to, like a vacuum packed sealing so they can ship him overseas.
Yeah, they put him in the things that you need to keep your mattress really small. Like your spare duvets.
It's like a wet duvet cover. Or did you ever like put a flannel on your face when you're in the bath as a kid and like
never will again. What are you doing, Ben? Little baby Ben, we're in the bath. Your mum I'm just playing Fire in the Sky, Mum.
I was playing Fire in the Sky, Mum. Got any Marmite?
It passes the Marmite.
Passes the Marmite. Yeah, then they pry his eye open, pry his mouth open, stick a load of Marmite.
Is it Marmite? I thought it was like a treacle, but I guess it could be Marmite. If it's Marmite, I mean, I'm a big Marmite fan, but that's a lot of Marmite. That's powerful.
It's too much.
That you want to have strong, but I take it as Marmites because aliens, as we know, most times when we see them doing abductions, they're trying to do a science, and they must know that Marmite famously, you either love or hate, and they're trying to definitively
Experiment
find out.
1: does he love or does he hate?
Yeah.
He can't decide because he's just in pain.
I don't think it's Marmite because his reaction isn't strong enough. I mean, it's more like grease, isn't it? Like they need to lubricate his throat to get that piping in there, which I don't know what that's for.
Yeah, and they connect that up because then this big sort of laser comes down, and like the towel that they put him in has just got one eye hole in it. So once they put the milk in his eyes, so he can see through it as well, he can just see he's like spyglassing across as like the big laser comes down.
The milk goes into his eye.
Yeah, it goes in his eye.
Into his eyeball. Yeah. His right eyeball gets bigger, full of more white stuff.
Ooh. Yeah.
Semi-skimmed?
Extra.
Semi-skimmed?
Yeah, it probably was. It wasn't thick enough to be full fat. It wasn't thick enough to be blue milk.
It was a little bit wishy-washy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then what happens? Is that it for the?
He wakes up at the doctor's office. They say, "Oh yeah, we took you to the doctor's office because you were under that table going."
Where did the doctor
absolutely mad?
Does the doctor believe him? Like the psychiatrist doctor? She seems to.
He says, "Yeah, sounds about right." I mean,
yeah, because I've been repressing this, but I've remembered this horrible thing that happened to me properly now.
Yeah,
so
she's got some like maple syrup on her head. It's like, yeah, I remember now.
Yeah, but yeah, like we've gone through it and we make light of some of the bits, but genuinely, for a film that is be approaching 30 years now, since this film came out, I think it holds up pretty well. Those aliens are horrid.
Yeah, and it was always like the alien stuff in the X-Files, which I think hasn't aged as well. Going back to it, like all the alien storylines, the sort of Monster of the Week stuff still works well, but the alien storylines feel a bit overdone. But yeah, going back to this, I mean, well, I say going back to this, but I've never seen this film before. But seeing it for the first time after, which is 30 years old, I think it's great.
Approaching that, yeah. And I think what I like about the story as well is that quite often in real life alien abductions on Discovery Channel on Aliens Week or whatever, quite often there is a disconnect between what the person tries to do, and it's like, oh yeah, I just felt a sudden calm over me and they spoke to me in my mind, or I couldn't move or whatever. This guy tries to fight aliens and just gets like battered.
Yeah.
And there's a terrible fear in that of just being like, despite the fact that you're trying to fight them, you just get overpowered and you're just trapped under a big thick wet blanket.
Yeah.
It's pretty scary.
Horrible scene. And then we close out, and I guess this is the nature of it being a biopic, right? That it's that we flash forward. We know that Travis has had some problems, but a couple of years have passed. He is now married to his girlfriend from the beginning of the movie. They have one little kid and another one on the way. He's a sensible man now. He's a sensible Paul Rudd looking fella. He's holding down a job. He's not opened an empty car showroom. And he goes to see Mike, who is now like a hermit, who has like a big beard and lives on his own on the outskirts of town.
It's a shame for Mike, isn't it? So his life's pretty much collapsed since then. He lives on his own, hasn't seen his kids. Isn't
that weird? Like, he wasn't even the one who got abducted and abducted, and his life is the one.
And he was telling the truth.
And he was telling the truth, yeah.
Yeah, because Mike came back and must have told those guys that it's not Mike.
I don't think that had anything to do with the alien stuff. It's the double denim. That's what got him exiled.
Yeah, he was exiled from town. Too much denim. Put a plaid shirt back on, mate, with your jeans, and you'll be welcome back anytime. I shan't.
I shan't.
I've made my choice.
He does look good though. I mean, I'll be honest. Even in he's supposed to be like, oh, he's a recluse. He's almost a bit of a social outcast. The hair and the beard and the cow. Is it a cowboy hat? In my head, he's got a cowboy hat.
He's got a cowboy hat.
In my head, like, looks great. Looks like I'll be impressed if that man walked into a shop I was in. I go, what a great guy.
What a strong look.
Yeah,
strong look.
So Travis comes and says, "Come on, it's overdue that we had a little talk. Come out for a drive with me." And they drive to the place he was abducted, and Mike says, "Oh, I don't like it here." Travis says, "I don't like it here either. It's absolutely the worst place ever. Got abducted from here." But basically, they make up. Said, "Oh, you've got you're an uncle once already. You're about to be an uncle for a second time. I haven't even seen the baby. He's named their firstborn after him. Now I forget if it's a boy or a girl. So it's either also called, Michael or Michelle. They've got he's named it after Mike. He said, "Oh, it's time to come back," and they do. They all go back, and everyone's happy. Nice family time.
Yeah.
Credits
roll,
and that's it.
That's how you fire in the sky. Got a bit of name game for you if you guys are ready.
Nice.
Oh yes.
So the first one is about a man called Walton who gets something stuck in his eye. He's trying to get it out, but his fingers are always too low to get this thing out of his eye. Just too low.
Too low.
Yeah.
So something in the eye.
Fingers too high.
Oh, he has to get higher in the eye?
Higher in the eye. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This next one. So if you were to find one of these in a pastry-based dessert, you'd have a right to complain, and also you'd have something to add to your collection of electronic bits and pieces.
If you had a dryer in your pie.
A wire in your eye. Well, wire in the pie.
Wire in the pie.
Wire in the pie. Yeah. And this last one. So Bilbo Baggins from The Hobbit. So he's heading out on a new quest. This is a sequel to Lord of the Rings. Heading out on a new quest to visit all of the Southeast Asian restaurants for his new blog, where he writes under the username Bill Blog Bloggins.
Bill Blog Bloggins.
So this is the name of his blog. And the idea of the blog is he's going to visit all the Southeast Asian restaurants, and the username is Bill Blog Bloggins because that was funny.
So, what is Bill Blog Bloggins? Because he's going to be something in the tie.
Yeah.
My brain just.
But what is he in the tie?
My brain just checked out. My brain just decided to check out.
I mean, it doesn't really make that much sense, other than it's Hobbit related.
So is he a halfling in the tie?
It's Shire in the tie.
Shire
in the tie.
Shire in the tie. Oh.
Got any off the top of the dome, Ben, to add to that one?
Oh, I've got one, but don't ask me where this came from, and I'm very sorry in advance. I've just got a new job. I'm walking around a town in. I'm walking around a town. It's a market town in England, near the border of Wales. And my job, I'm a bellman, but I just shout a load of stuff while I ring the bell.
Crier.
Town crier in the.
Town crier. It's like southeast Herefordshire. It's on a river. The river is also named after the town. It is. That's correct. I'm a town crier
in the Y in the river. He's standing in it.
Town crier in Ross on Wye.
Very good.
Crier in the Y.
Crier in the Y.
That's much better. That's much better.
I have an alternate. Obviously, this is a biopic based on a true story, a novel that was written by our mate here. So the Walton Experience, the Travis Walton Experience. Turns out you can actually buy another book. Some would argue perhaps more interesting. It is about a British actor who played James Bond for a couple of movies, and just the time he had doing that.
We're going to say Danny Dyer, but he didn't play James Bond.
Yeah. So I would say is the James Bond films that hit this particular actors are underrated.
It's got to be. Wait, which one?
Instead of the Walton Experience.
The Dalton Experience.
The Dalton Experience. Yes. And my other one is just for a title of the film, in which the tagline for it is just yippee-ki-yay, yippee-ki-yo, but they sing it.
Yippee-ki-yay, yippee-ki-yo.
Yippee-ki-yay, yippee-ki-yo. Ghost Riders in the Sky.
Ghost Riders in the Sky. Oh, sorry. I mean, yeah. The level of that name game was so high that, as I said, my brain checked out, unfortunately. Good times.
Wow. Yeah. We've done it again.
Dreamer, Ben.
We drew.
Yeah, Ben, if you could just go away and get yourself several years of life experience in less than a week, that would be great.
Okay.
So we need to rate the film, rate good or rate bad.
Indeed.
Interesting.
I would rate average for the most of it, and then rate good at the end. So it'd be like a C to a B, like a B minus, or the C plus, 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 B minus, B, A minus, and then down to C plus again.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, on average.
Like a graph.
Yeah, I mean, what would that be overall? Overall, it'd be like a B minus. But the ending bit is really good.
Yeah.
Classic B minus, but now with some reasoning behind it.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, I think I'd join you on a say a B minus or a B? I'll say a B minus just because, I would have liked there to be a bit more alien abduction stuff, but at the same time, I understand why they saved it for that moment, because it is really impactful where they kind of have it in the movie. But apart from that, I enjoyed it, but I think maybe the reason I'm going as low as that is just because as a horror movie, it is small town drama for a lot of it.
Did you want more backstory about the aliens?
I don't know. I don't. Not more backstory. I didn't want to know how they were created and what their
how they came to Earth. Oh, our ship is knackered.
Yeah.
Well,
our nipple ship is absolutely knackered. We need to.
All this red smoke coming up, that isn't what it's meant to do.
Yeah. I think if someone describes your flying object as a fire in the sky, it's probably going to crash pretty soon.
What do they call our ship? They call it a fire in the sky. Get him abducted!
Yeah, this film is a B minus, and then at one point it turns into B nanas because it's so damn good.
Oh wow, B narners, very
B-nanas.
nice. Yeah.
What was your rating? Sorry, Ben. Was it B nanas?
Yeah, I say B minus as well.
B narners for you.
B narners, absolutely B narners.
I'm gonna join you guys on B minus B nanas as well. Because again, the same. Strictly speaking, we're fine here at Horror Hangout Podcast. We'll stretch the definition of a horror movie. That's fine. We'll do that. For the most part of this film, I can see why they don't describe it as a horror film, because it could be just about the act of the community. But then again, is that not also most of Jaws? It's just that the action scenes are split across several other bits of action. And the scene we get here for this 20 minutes, it's really good. And it holds up really well. I was very surprised. I was looking at the visual effects crew behind this. And not a great deal more other things, certainly not in their filmography. I'm not sure if they've done more TV and that wasn't on Letterboxd. But
what did they look like? Three little bold.
I couldn't see them. They weren't worthy of a photo. I just saw little picture of a dinosaur as part of the visual effects team, but a couple of them also worked on Spawn. I was surprised that I didn't see more things behind these people, because I think the alien design and the aesthetic that was behind some of this stuff, maybe I didn't look at the right names and it was the set designers that were coming up with all this versus the visual effects people. But
Spawn is like 90% CGI, right?
Yeah, it's just that big red cartoon cape that he has.
Oh yeah, God.
There's a lot to like about this. Maybe if you're a horror fan with not that much time on your hands, just seek out this particular clip.
Probably on YouTube, maybe.
Yeah, you can probably see at least some of it on YouTube. I guess final story then. This isn't the Joe Rogan podcast. You haven't got him on. Doesn't that take our calls? But what do you really think happened to old once a dreamer, now a sensible man, old Travis?
Yeah, he
Travis
got
Walton.
abducted. The abduction is too bizarre for it not to be made up. For it to have been made up. Sorry. So yeah, let's believe him. Believe him.
I've not read the Walton Experience. Do the other guys who were in that car, did they all say they saw the saucer?
Oh yeah, good question.
I'm guessing they did. Maybe one of us. Maybe you have to read the Walton, the Wally's Experience there, Travis Walton.
Where's
and
Walton?
See what happened. Well, in the spaceship.
Yeah, all the rest of them have released books as well, so we'll have to read them. Catch up
the whole
with the
series.
The Mike Experience.
The Mike Experience, the Dallas Experience.
My wife didn't believe me.
These guys.
Yeah. Hopefully there's a sequel where he finds himself abducted again.
Do you think that his character...
Not again.
Like a phone with him.
Do you think this character was in any part the influence for the crop duster man who saves the day in Independence Day?
Oh,
yeah, good point. Possibly.
Former alien abductee.
Yes.
So the sequel...
I'm in a yes
like
mood.
Do you like this film more or less if it serves as a prequel to Independence Day?
More. If that's the case.
Official.
Let's just say more.
prequel to Independence Day. That
There we
man
go. Confirmed.
went on to become a crop duster and have a problem with alcohol, which he eventually becomes.
Crop duster, dirty boy.
Yeah, and then gets better from alcoholism to kill an entire spaceship full of aliens.
Hero.
Yeah.
There we go. That's that.
I suppose Mike could turn into that guy. Because he's the exile, lives out on the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. Cool. All right, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode, you can become a patron over at patreon.com/horror hangout, where you can get some bonus content, heaps of free stuff, and you can join a bunch of cool people like Lane Spencer, John Crinnan, Ben Scaife, Stephen Christopher, Toby Miller, Laura Kendrick, Scott Rigby, Ollie Childs, Julia Bilgren, Leslie Carlo, and Pazuzu. I think you've got some special eps lined up for that pretty soon, right?
We have. We just released quite recently a Resident Evil movie rankings. You dodged a bullet there, Luke. You had to watch significantly less movies of Paul W.S. Anderson. Movies of varying quality, but he does love his wife.
Movies. Oh,
He does make a movie.
Challenge to find anyone that loves their wife quite as much. You won't.
Definitely not. New theme music as well from Taj Easton, which is nice.
I've listened to it. It's lovely music.
Not just theme music, but also outro music as well now. Well. Can you believe it?
Coming up in the world. Thanks, Taj.
Thank you, Taj.
And we got more coming content wise. I think having done the Resident Evil film rankings, Ben and I were talking that we might do a couple little short bonuses where we might just spend a few minutes talking about each of the games. So little sample that we'll sprinkle in the coming months. We still have some more bonus content to do as well. Hey, if that on the Resident Evil theme, if that's particularly remarkable footage we get tomorrow, do you want to see excited or disappointed faces at some point? Maybe we'll do something about that.
Awesome. And then next week, Firestarter, I believe. That's right.
Oh,
yeah.
Double Fire Bill.
Yeah.
We're doing the double, right?
The original and the remake. Yeah. Could be fun.
What about the demake?
The demake, yeah. That'll be the week after.
Just like scribblings on paper. Maybe we'll make a demake.
Yeah, we'll do a demake.
Let's do it ourselves. It's just Luke singeing his eyebrows. What have I done?
Like those people who recreate trailers for like £10.
Yeah.
I was just quickly turning on one of the rings on the hub. Oh, I've done it.
I've done it again. Nice one.
Cool. Right. Thanks for listening. Thanks to my co-host Ben Andy for being right horror dudes.
Thank you very much
for being a right horror dude as well. What a time.
Pleasure as always. See you
next
week.
Back together again. See you next week, everybody.
See you in a bit. Bye.
Where will we have been for the next 7 days? Who knows?
I'm turning up naked.
Screaming.
But naked.